Okay, so one thing that hasn't worked on in a while is the torque amplifier lever. Torque works. There we go, geez. And we're trying to figure out what the problem is. Now, we just got the pivot point taken apart down here. That was super tight. I guess that's good, I don't know. Geez. That's gonna be fun getting this back together. Okay. That's all loose. The pivot point that goes through the cable, not the cable is rusted. So, watching to see if the end of the cable moves when I pull on the lever, and it's not. Not that anybody's, been so strong to bend the handle. So I guess the good news is it's not moving, because we got a new cable. I have to pull the dash apart to get in and see what's happening. Here comes the dash. Yay! Always more stuff in the way, jeez. And the torque amplifier lever is straight down on that thing. Yep. Right down there. See it wiggle a little bit. I guess, something. Pull this little piece loose and see what I find. That's my next best guess. I have more bolts everywhere now. Well, we've got the shift levers sitting here and a few connections made to the top of the transmission. Covers off the dash. And I'm about ready to pull the torque lever off. I took the bolt out right here. And there's just a little alignment pin on the back. If I wiggle it. Yeah, that took a lot of muscle. Somebody really muscled it. But the detent down here, to keep it in direct drive, is incredibly stiff. So we're gonna have to address that. I don't know, lube it up. Find a less aggressive spring or something, jeez. Or a stiffer lever. I think it's something. Hey Brad, what are you doing?
Disassembling the chair.
Yep. Who needs reupholstery when you've got a brand new seat? Look at that. We're gonna take a squat. It's a comfy seat. Now some of you saw it. Yep, it's a boat seat. We've actually put one of these on our TC30, and man, it's comfortable, super comfortable. And well, being a boat seat, the material is hopefully weather resistant. And seeing as the doors aren't so attached to our 1086, well, this thing will withstand the test of time better than the vinyl that's on there. Oh, the one on the TC's been on there at least 3 or 4 years, so it's doing well. We're gonna have to get creative because obviously this isn't a factory seat. It's not gonna mount right up. Got a couple chunks of sheet metal there, heavy sheet metal, that we can do something creatively to make those sliding rails that Brad's taking off fit the bottom of our seat here. Still got to figure that one out, so you'll see our magic shortly. Well, we're kind of going over some carpentry skills here. We got our builder square. Trying to transfer some holes onto our sheet of metal. We made a straight edge very faintly to base everything from. This will go underneath the very edge of the seat on the right-hand side. Coming across, the 2 screws on the bottom of the seat are about 5.5 inches from this edge. And we determined we want these 2 screws 2 1/4 from the edge of the sheet metal, and that's from a lot of eyeballing where we want our sliding unit to go underneath. So this line is a big guess. That one's fairly set. And made these two perpendicular to each other. The two intersections are the front two screw holes, and we're going to make the straight line for the back two screw holes. And that gets this sheet of metal on the bottom of the seat. Then onto this sheet of metal, we're going to mount our little sliders over there. So, unless you want to do it, Brad.
No, you got it.
I already measured out the bolt holes, or the screws are 5 1/4 inches apart. And 7 3/8 on diagonal. So we're going to measure our hypotenuse here in a second. See how close we are. Okay, Brad, let's see how good we are at our carpentry skills. Corner. Of course, using a tape measure for this isn't the most exact. I really wanted a ruler, but didn't. Okay, looks like we are 7 3/8 from corner to corner on the diagonal, so I actually made this thing sort of square. Moment of truth. For as good as our instrumentation, it's about 7 3/8. Yep, drill some holes, make a couple cuts. And now we gotta have the fun part of figuring out how to get the sliding unit mounted to this base under the seat. Okay guys, we did more of our fancy marking to mark out our holes at the corner here to put our slider rails on. I got those ready to go. The way it's set up, well, I took this wire out, but it runs between this hole and that hole. When you pull the lever to release the latches, to let the seat slide around. So in order to make room for all that, we had to stack 2 nuts, which I'm still a nut short, Brad.
You are?
Is it that one on the floor that I didn't put on?
Well.
To create space so that mechanism can move freely. And so far, all my hole drillings have been pretty well correct. We haven't had to re-drill anything because I was off by 1/4 inch or anything. Get these screws tightened down. And we'll be ready to set our sliders on. And this is almost how you go from OEM tractor seat to a boat seat. Hopefully it's not that wet that we'll need a boat, or the seat for the boat. Well, at least nobody will see the yellow paint on the bottom of the seat. That's just some reused sheet metal from another larger project that somebody else did, and well, it came from actually some piece that was on the corn head, or on the bean head that was in the way. Some annoying dividers. So we have good clearance here. That wire can move freely. We're going to adjust the seat. To be fair, as long as I've been around, I've never had to adjust the seat, or never tried to. Never knew I could. Once I knew I could, it fit me just fine. So we're going to set it back on here. There's 4 spacers. It's big fat discs. Go over the holes. 2 for me, 2 for Brad. Seatbelt. In case we never want to use that again. We'll see how well we do lining these up. Back go through?
Yep.
How's that going over there?
Got it.
Okay, did yours go through? It down? There we go. How about now?
Yep.
Well, good news is we can move that back a lot.
Can we?
Yeah.
Looks a little close.
Yeah, it looks a lot close.
This needs to come off.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that here.
Take that off.
Okay, it's out of sight, out of mind, Brad. Don't have to worry about that again. Hey, that way, remember, in like 30 years, whoever we ever to mess with the seat again, somebody will know where it came from. Okay, do you have some nuts over there?
Yeah, I believe so. No, I think they're all over there.
Okay.
I got 3 bolts.
What about lock washers?
I got a big guy right here. I don't know where the big guy goes.
Here's a nut, and here's a nut. These are 5/16ths. And here's a couple lock washers to try to get underneath them while we're working. The front's easy to get to because it's just right there. Now the back we got to reach around a little bit. It matches. It's kind of gray and light gray. Hey, so I'm playing with the torque amplifier now. Got it all apart down there. It's the shiny thing that makes the right angle right underneath that hose right there. Oh, I can see that. But looking in the side here, I put some WD-40 right on this little detent roller. And it turns again. It's got a little dirty, dusty, maybe a bit of rust. And did a lot of straightening to the lever. With a nice hard pull, it goes down, which you want it to be a quick shift of the torque amplifier. You don't want to be idle, you don't want to be sitting there floating around in limbo. I want to keep playing with this, then put some heavier oil on it, something that's not just penetrating oil. And then connect everything up and make sure it moves freely at the bottom. It feels pretty good. Have to use that some this spring. Our cleaning man, Brad, scooping out all the dirt, making the floor less dirty. We even have some rubber matting. Probably gonna cut a new floor mat tonight. I have the torque amplifier, so it'll work nicely. Moves no problem. That's perfect. Got everything connected underneath the floor. Just need to put the fuel tank on. Brad's cleaning. It's going well. It's just a quick update. See you shortly.